I want to talk about why ego is a good thing. And let me begin by saying ego and selfishness are not the same thing. But when I say ego is a good thing, I don't mean it's good to be selfish or to be inconsiderate to others and not care about their needs. By ego, I mean the conscious part of ourselves that the conscious part of ourselves that wants something, that's moving forward, that cares about how it's perceived, everything that goes into an ego. And a lot of people have been saying, it's become popular these days to say it's a bad thing, to say that ego is a bad thing. And to help talk about that, I wanted to visualize a little bit and paint some crude drawings here. To begin, I want to talk about form or shape. So let's say you're form, like you're some shape. Let's say like we're going to draw a circle. You're like this shape. And by this, I don't mean just your physical body. I mean your being, all of your attributes. By this, I mean your conscious self, all of you. You as a thing. And why do I draw as a shape? Well, the first thing to understand is that anything that exists necessarily needs a shape. To be something means you have to not be something. So if you're going to be this identity, this person you have to not be all this. Okay? Now, maybe you could be a different shape. You could be this shape or bigger or smaller, but you can't be the whole thing. The minute you're the whole thing, you're nothing. You're everything. That's your God. You aren't being. So any sort of being implies a border, a form, a shape, something you are and something you are not. Okay? So, and I think this should be self-evident. It's kind of hard to disagree with. Everything needs a shape, and that shape can change over time. We grow as people. It's always changing, but it doesn't disappear. And anything that lives, it doesn't change like jump. This isn't like liquid to solid instantly, like a transformation. There's a form to living. Shapes organic living things. So if we were to visualize our identity over time, we would always have some shape we are, even as we move and grow. And again, we're just visualizing being, like the shape is just encapsulating our thoughts and feelings and our ideas, our memories. Okay, so why am I getting into this? What does this have to do with ego? Well, ego, in a way, is the thing, we can consider ego as the thing that represents this or cares about this. Every being has in it some part of itself is a desire for its own being, for the continuing its being. And that's all life. If life didn't care about itself, it would die. It would go away. It wouldn't exist. Anything to persist needs to have some utility function or drive to continue existing. So one way we can think of ego as a part of your utility function to exist. So here you are the shape, you're this being across time, and you've got this part of you that cares about you. You want yourself, you want to look good in front of others, you want to achieve your goals. It's ego. Okay, so now we've got this very simplistic model of the self. Admittedly simplistic, but I don't think incorrect. And someone comes to you and says, some other form comes to you and says to you, you shouldn't have an ego. You should let go of your boundaries. You should stop. You shouldn't be a shape. You're the universe. You shouldn't have a shape. Now, since we know that anything that exists requires shape, then the only thing that can be doing is an attempt, honestly, to destroy you, an attempt to undo you. It's saying, don't look out for your well-being. Don't be a being. Don't exist. Because this is what we are. We are a shape. We are a form. So someone tells you, A, you're not a shape. You're not a form. You're not anything. Or that part of you which is trying to maximize and live out that form is not real or should be ignored. Then the only thing that can be doing is a form of attack. It's trying to... you can almost consider it's trying to like I consider it like a virus, like it's a seed that'll go in and destroy from the inside, because the being that does no longer sees itself as a being is dying. And that's what death is, in a way. A death is when you do not have an edge, when you do not have a form. And if we watch something die, if you watch something you watch the process of death. It's a destruction of boundaries. So you have a body and it had skin, it had inside, a clear inside and outside. And as it dies, that boundary slowly dissipates until you can't even tell what it is. Imagine a rotting corpse on the ground. Every day, it like rots a little more, sinks into the ground, a pool of blood, and then the pool of blood's gone, and then it's just gone. It just dissipates. And that's death. Death is the removal of a border. It's when the form of a being is gone is when it's dead. So again, I say, if someone tells you you have no right to have a form, or you don't have a form, or you don't exist, or you shouldn't exist, or you shouldn't care about your existence, or you shouldn't care about carrying forward your existence, or meeting your needs, I think that should be perceived as a type of attack. That's like, it's a parasitical attack almost. It's an attempt to inject an idea that will destroy you. Because if you fully believe it, then you don't exist. And in fact, those who go full on the train of this thought line of remove your ego, they tend to be spiritual or the acclaimed spirituals. They will say it is death. They will admit this is death, these people. The ones who want you to go all the way, they will tell you ego, death, it's death. They want you to die, or they think death is the way. And I'm not denying there is something spiritual in this idea of, and we can get in, maybe in another video I'll get into that, into death and transformation. There is something true there in that symbol of Jesus on the cross, or when we look at any movie, the necessity to leave something behind, how death is necessary for life. But that doesn't mean you let go of the whole game. You don't deny your form. You need your form. That's what existence is. You are something. And if you're not something, you're nothing. If you don't have a boundary, then you're nothing. No one goes to a plant, a little plant growing in the ground, and says, wow, this plant should stop growing in this way. It should stop having a form. It should just let go and be one with the universe. No one would say that to a plant. The plant is beautiful in what it is. And even in its desire to continue to grow and drink sunlight, that's what it is. That's its being. It's putting it forward, and that's beautiful. So don't fight. Don't attack your ego. Maybe there's something in you want to overcome. Maybe there's an intention, and you can grow, and you can change your shape. But don't get rid of the shape. Learn to love it and work with it.